Danny Flexon here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by my good friend. I actually mean it this time. I say it all the time. Dev Sahni, the voice of Queensberry Promotions. Dev, how are you?
What a thing to say. What an introduction. The voice of Queensberry Promotions. I'm alright, mate. It's a nice thing that you just said there. Obviously, Frank's the actual voice. I just do occasional voices as well. But yeah, I'm alright. You alright?
You do impressions? Is that what you're getting at?
Really, not so much. Not so much. Don't put me on the spot with that.
You're good at everything else, so it's fine. We're here in London, obviously with Daniel Dubois. He's just come back from South Florida. Don't know why I didn't just say Miami. I've immediately regretted it. WBA regular heavyweight champion now. Probably shouldn't say the regular, it might annoy him. What did you make of his performance? Were you expecting more from Trevor Bryan at all?
I thought there was nothing regular about Daniel Dubois' performance. There you go, you like that. I don't know, did I expect more from Trevor Bryan? I didn't really know what to expect from Trevor Bryan. He's beat BJ Flores, who's a cruiserweight really. He's beat Bermain Stavern, or the ghost of Bermain Stavern, but he talked a good game. In the interviews in the build-up fight week, a couple of weeks before I spoke to him as well, there wasn't any doubt in his mind as to what he was going to do, and he thought he was going to drag Daniel Dubois to deep waters and make him quit. He obviously took a lot from the Joe Joyce fight, and he thought, yeah, no problem. He's just a kid, but that kid isn't a kid. Maybe he was a kid when he fought Joe Joyce, but I'm looking at him now, doing interviews. I've been with him in TalkSport, holding court on national radio. This is a different fella. He's puffing his chest out. Whatever he's saying it with his chest, and he's got a champion spirit about him. You said regular. I think they've dropped regular. I'm not sure they're saying regular anymore. I know there's a super champion and a WBA champion. I've been on the wind up a little bit on Twitter with that, because if you look at the belt that he's got, and on BoxRec you can click on it, right? Scroll down, you see some great names on there: Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield. They're all on there. They've all won his version of the belt. That super thing that Usyk's got only been about like 10 years or so.
Talking of that, Frank said that he's now pitching Daniel towards the super title, which will be disputed between Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua in August. Who do you see coming out on top in that, and how far away do you feel Daniel is from that fight?
I see Usyk coming out on top, and Usyk is a difficult puzzle for anyone to solve, and it might be Tyson Fury that has the easiest night with Alexander Usyk, just because he will completely impose himself, and he's a giant. He's 6'9". Daniel Dubois is a big guy, but he's not a giant. So yeah, how will Daniel Dubois get on against Usyk? You'd have to hope that Daniel Dubois puts in his best ever performance, becomes everything that he can be on that night, and Usyk is a little bit on the slide. Because right now, I don't think he's that much bigger than Usyk. And Usyk has shown what he can do against someone like Anthony Joshua. What Daniel Dubois can look at is the Anthony Joshua fight, the first one, and be like, well, I won't do that. I will try and impose myself. But yeah, I think that will be who he ends up being mandated to fight at some point.
So maybe a couple more fights in the interim for Daniel to get him ready for that challenge?
I think so. It depends how quickly they say, all right, this fight's got to happen. Because if that fight's on the table and you're 24 years old and Usyk's 35 years old and has had hundreds of amateur fights, will have miles on the clock, will have just done 2 fights with Anthony Joshua, and you're relatively fresh, I think at that point you've got to take it. We've seen Teofimo Lopez at 23 years old take on a 34, 35-year-old Vasyl Lomachenko. He was called mad for taking that. Top Rank were told that fight, it isn't the time to make that fight because Loma will wipe the floor with him. What you're doing, you've lost yourself a star there in Teofimo Lopez. Sometimes it's about timing, and these things could work out. I think if he was presented with that fight right now, he'd take it. I don't know if Frank would take it, but we'd have to see. Maybe he could do with a couple more fights. I just think sometimes you've got to take the moment and make it perfect.
And if it becomes an ultimate battle for heavyweight supremacy between Daniel Dubois and Tyson Fury, how tough will that be for you and for Frank and for everyone at Queensberry? It's like Sophie's choice.
It is. I wouldn't want to be Sophie. I don't know. I think we'd all collectively be watching it just sort of like this. So just sort of, I don't know. It's a tough one, right? What an excellent problem to have that would be. What a promotion that would be. Daniel Dubois and Tyson Fury. Who knows? It might happen one day.
And talking of Tyson Fury, I believe you've got a big interview with the man himself dropping later on today. Hopefully this will go out before that so we can plug it a little bit. Just tell us a sprinkling of what we can expect.
It's 35 minutes. He's getting his hair cut. He hasn't even got that much hair, so I don't know how the haircut I don't know how it lasted 35 minutes.
He carried the barber through the rounds.
Like the barber's had a right touch because he had the thing on. Was it an apron? He's got the smock on. It's got the logo of the barbers in there. So he's got 35 minutes of promotion. Unless I cover it with the Unibet logo, which I'm probably won't. Be funny though, wouldn't it? But yeah, look, he's getting his hair cut. He talks about everything. He gives his view on the Joshua Usyk rematch. He gives his view on a potential comeback himself. Talks about young Daniel Dubois. Hypes him up. I think Frank's sending him an invoice afterwards, or he has to pay for that. But it's fantastic. It's a really good interview. It's very deep, and it's hilarious. And he talks about the kick in the taxi thing as well, which I don't think he's publicly spoken about since kicking or narrowly missing the taxi.
The taxi got lucky. Just before I let you go, we don't have to, but I want to discuss the Joshua moving to the DAZN situation. Just for the three main parties involved, whether they kind of win or lose as a result of the new deal. So Joshua, first of all, is it a good move for him from Sky Sports to the DAZN in the UK?
He's not going to get more famous, I think. He's one of the few where it's probably okay because he's at the tail end of his career now. My first thought, which was quite a cheeky thought, was because it's a long-term deal, right? Is what we're hearing. I thought that's a lot of non-title fights on DAZN because I back Usyk to beat him. But is it all right for him? Yeah, because he's at the tail end of his career. He needs to make as much money as possible. If DAZN are dangling a hell of a bag in front of him, go and take that bag. So DAZN are winners in this. It won't help his visibility as a fighter, but as I say, he's already famous enough. So just go and make your money. Sky Sports are the losers in this scenario because he's one of the biggest attractions in world boxing, and they've lost him to another platform. Adam Smith seemed very confident that they would keep him. And he's gone. So it'll be interesting to see what level of support they give him, because as much as you hear like we're good friends and things like that from all of them, that could be like, if he'd have gone to Sky, I'm sure Eddie would have been, oh yeah, but we're good friends and stuff like that. And I thought that him doing the lifetime deal with Matchroom was a kind of future-proofing ploy from Eddie to sort of save face if Joshua went to Sky, which it looked like he was going to for so long. So I don't know. Sky are certainly the losers. I think BT remain sort of as they are. They're not in the Anthony Joshua business. They haven't been in that business. What they are in is the Tyson Fury business, and he happens to be the best heavyweight in the world.
Now, talking about that, does the move from Joshua have any impact, either positive or negative, on future fights with BT stars like Tyson Fury or Daniel Dubois?
I feel as though it's not a positive move for that fight. It depends on how much they've tied up Joshua. If there's some sort of clause where they say, all right, but if the Tyson Fury fight comes along, everyone can, put this to one side, highest bidder, or everyone works together, everyone shows it, something like that. I feel as though that's a much easier conversation when he was on Sky, because if you recall where it looked like there was going to be Fury versus AJ, I feel as though all parties involved in that were going to be satisfied. I think they've talked about how it was going to be on BT and Sky at that time. Where DAZN fits into that picture, I don't know. And also, look, again, I do think he's going to lose to Usyk, and I'm not sure. There's always going to be interest in that fight, in the Fury-Joshua fight. I just don't know how much bargaining power he has off the back of two losses to go to Fury and say you have to come and fight on DAZN, or I don't know how it's going to work.
And just before we let you go, final plug for the interview with Tyson Fury. When does it drop, and at what YouTube channel?
Queensberry YouTube, 7 o'clock tonight. It's me, it's Frank, it's Tyson, and a barber, yeah, whose name I forget, but it is
Barack Obama, isn't it?
Does it sound like that? Yeah, Barack Obama. Yeah, that's the one. Great line. 7 o'clock tonight. Don't miss it. Actually, like not do me dirty with the thumbnail? You one of your boys did an
It's the pointed one. We're going to have to use it now. As soon as you pointed, I thought thumbnail.
Okay, can I give you like a better thumbnail?
Go for it. Go on.
Just like that.
If you think that's better, I'm happy. I mean, that's fine.
Let's see. Can we just like go through and freeze frame the best one that's sort of most handsome? Actually, I might even...
Oh, yes. It's called Sahni.
Yeah. So, you know, check it out. 7 o'clock tonight. We're laughing. It's Fury. He's back. Well...